Greetings and welcome to Spoiled Vision Movie Recaps. In today's video, we'll dive into the events of Alice in Borderland Part 3, where we'll follow the harrowing journey of three friends ensnared in a perilous game. Usagi and her companions successfully locate the room where Arisu is held, but once again, the beach militants intervene. Following a heated confrontation with the militants, Usagi and Chota manage to rescue Arisu from the hotel room. In the hotel's administration office, Kuina spots Anne, who appears to be searching for something. Kuina, harboring suspicions about Anne, questions her intentions and considers her as a potential witch. However, Anne refutes the accusation, explaining that she's attempting to identify the witch by examining the fingerprints on the knife embedded in Momoka's body. Kuina inquires about the method to reveal these fingerprints, to which Anne provides a simple solution. All she needs is super glue, masking tape, and a few common office supplies. It turns out that Anne has prior experience as a member of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police forensic team, which equips her with the skills to collect fingerprints using makeshift tools. When Anne and Kuina rush into the Great Hall to collect the fingerprints from the knife in Momoka's body, they encounter opposition from Last Boss. Kuina instructs Anne to confront Last Boss in the Great Hall first. Acting on impulse, Last Boss immediately attacks Kuina with his katana. Kuina, however, adeptly evades each of his strikes, impressing Last Boss with her nimble movements and quick instincts. Curious about Kuina's background in the real world, Last Boss inquires, and Kuina explains that she works as a store clerk. Yet in the past, as a boy named Hikari, her father was a carrot master who owned a renowned carrot dojo in their city. However, Hikari had a penchant for applying makeup, causing friction with his father, who destroyed his makeup equipment. Following this, Hikari made the decision to leave home and transform into the woman known as Kuina. The fierce battle between Kuina and Last Boss remains evenly matched. As Last Boss realizes that Kuina can evade his attacks, he devises a strategy to throw glass bottles at her, scattering glass fragments on the floor to impede her movement, particularly since she was barefoot at the time. Last Boss's tactic proves effective, causing Kuina to struggle to avoid the glass shards harming her feet. She reaches a point where she almost contemplates giving up. Yet the memory of her mother's unwavering acceptance and love, despite her transformation into a woman, reignites her spirit and resilience. Kuina rises above adversity, revitalizing her determination to survive. Kuina concentrates her efforts, deftly parrying Last Boss's attack and incapacitating him with a lethal technique she inherited from her father. In his final moments, Last Boss recollects his past as a hikikomori who authored articles under the pseudonym Samura. Despite consistently providing accurate and informative content, Samura's work went largely unappreciated by online audiences. Frustrated by the preference for frivolous or hoax news, he found his world empty one day as everyone disappeared, forcing him into a series of deadly games for survival. Curiously, engaging in these life-and-death situations, witnessing death, and occasionally taking lives to win the games brought a newfound vibrancy to Samura's existence. It was during this transformation that he adopted the moniker Last Boss. Back in the ongoing game, Niraji, positioned on the rooftop, appears to relish executing participants, attempting to flee into the courtyard, perhaps driven by past experiences of being bullied by friends. Shortly thereafter, Chizuya ascends to the rooftop and accuses Niraji of being the witch, specifying that the witch is among the executive members of Beach. His intent is to eliminate all the executive members, starting with Niraji. Chizuya tosses Hatter's collected cards into the air as a distraction and directs the fire gun at Niraji, causing him to ignite and plummet from the roof. Meanwhile, Agony stands resolutely before the fire of judgment, reflecting on their shared memories from a time when he and Hatter were close friends in the real world. During that period, Hatter transitioned from working as a host in Kabukicho to managing a hat shop upon receiving his father's inheritance. Agony frequently visited the hat shop and extended his support to Hatter, reciprocated by Hatter's unwavering assistance. As the game's timer counts down, with 30 minutes remaining, Arisu and the group persist in their quest to unravel the mystery behind Momoka's murder and identify the genuine witch. While others suspect the witch is a beach militant, Arisu argues that they lack concrete evidence. He contemplates the game from a game master's perspective, acknowledging that the Witch Hunt game's 10 hearts difficulty level can manipulate emotions and thoughts, leading participants to wrongfully accuse one another and, in some instances, kill innocents. Arisu's contemplation provides him with newfound insight into the Momoka murder case and the witch's identity. In another part of the story, Anne delves into the Momoka murder case, eventually unearthing the witch's identity by uncovering the fingerprints on the knife. Her revelation astonishes her, but when she attempts to share this information, beach militants assault her, rendering her unconscious. With only 15 minutes remaining before the game concludes, Agony and the beach militants gather the surviving players in the Great Hall with the intent to eliminate them. However, Arisu intervenes and suggests that they cooperate in their hunt for the witch. Arisu approaches Agony and denies being the witch, citing that Niraji and the other militants had confined him before the game's commencement. Nevertheless, Agony inexplicably strikes Arisu. Usagi, who comes to Arisu's aid, accuses Agony of being the witch all along, deflecting suspicion by labeling beach members as witches. Surprisingly, Agony confesses to being the witch. As the militants prepare to execute Agony, Arisu intervenes, proclaiming that Agony is not the witch and revealing that the true witch is Momoka. She orchestrated her own demise to frame it as a murder. Agony, however, remains uninterested in the witch's identity, as he harbors other motives for eliminating the beach organization. It's disclosed that Agony was responsible for Hatter's death, a fact Arisu deduces from Agony's reaction when he discovered Hatter's lifeless body. Hatter had transformed into a ruthless and selfish individual, even resorting to violence against friends over hidden cards. Agony invited Hatter to disband the beach organization, but Hatter deemed Agony a traitor and launched an attack. In the ensuing struggle, Agony accidentally shot Hatter. In the present game, Agony's rage drives him to assault the players, holding them responsible for transforming his friends into ruthless individuals. Amidst the chaos, Asahi suggests to Arisu and Usagi that they should incinerate Momoka's body in the fire of judgment to end the game. However, she unexpectedly reveals her role as a game dealer and is swiftly eliminated by a laser beam, shocking all the players. The confusion still hung in the air until Anne, accompanied by Kuina, shed light on the situation. They revealed that Momoka was a witch who had deliberately taken her own life. The reasons behind Momoka's and Asahi's actions remained unclear, but it appeared that the game master had exerted control over them, much like everyone else compelled to partake in the deadly games within this realm. Arisu urged the players to put an end to the chaos and cooperate to complete the witch hunt game, as many lives had been lost in vain. However, the spreading flames ignited by Last Boss encroached upon the Great Hall. Amidst the inferno, Niraji resurfaced and sowed terror by indiscriminately firing upon people. He had survived Chizuya's earlier assault and was determined to annihilate everyone present. Arisu and Usagi attempted to thwart Niraji's frenzy, but were ill-equipped to handle his madness due to their lack of combat experience. When Niraji was on the verge of ending their lives, Agony intervened and shielded them. Without hesitation, Agony pushed Niraji into the raging fire. Subsequently, the players transported Momoka's body to the Fire of Judgment to conclude the game. As Arisu rushed to catch up with the group, he chanced upon Asahi's cell phone, which had recorded the unfolding events of the game. In the end, the surviving players managed to complete the 10 hearts difficulty witch hunt game, despite sacrificing nearly half of their comrades at the beach hotel that night. They gazed at the blazing fire of judgment with hearts heavy, mourning the friends who had perished due to animosity and baseless suspicion. The beach organization and the once opulent 5-star hotel now lay in ashes. Usagi's anger flared as she spotted several surviving beach militants intent on violence. Arisu sought to calm her, emphasizing that players should not kill each other in the deadly game. Their collective goal was to collaborate and outsmart the game master to secure their escape. Meanwhile, Chizuya and Kuina succeeded in obtaining a 10 of hearts card, completing all the number cards. This development paved the way for a deadly game with a face card difficulty level, featuring Jack, Queen, and King. A few days later, Arisu and Usagi examined Asahi's cell phone and stumbled upon a video recording featuring Asahi and Momoka. It was revealed that the two were high school students trapped in the city when everyone else vanished. Instead of being forced to play, Asahi and Momoka had been given an enigmatic task by an unidentified individual, leading them to a concealed location beneath the train station. In that underground location, they encountered numerous wall-filling monitors, where many individuals were diligently organizing and supervising the game. Asahi and Momoka had been coerced into becoming dealers within the game, compelled to execute various tasks at the game master's behest. Refusal to follow the game master's orders meant instant execution for all involved. After viewing the video on Asahi's cell phone, Arisu and Usagi headed to the underground station in the hopes of finding the mastermind orchestrating the deadly game. Upon arrival, they discovered that everyone involved in controlling the game had perished, and the place had fallen into disarray. Not long after, Chizuya arrived with Kuina, carrying all the cards they had gathered. Chizuya explained that he had managed to locate this place after studying an image found in a masked horse chaser's pocket from a previous chase game. Surprisingly, the image turned out to be a subway station route map. Chizuya hadn't expected to encounter Arisu and Usagi here, but had hoped to find the mastermind behind the deadly games. It appeared that all those responsible for orchestrating the games had died along with the victorious participants of the 10 Hearts game. Chizuya speculated that the game master in these deadly contests might be an alien or a deity due to their ability to manage games involving numerous participants and create vast, technologically advanced game arenas. Suddenly, as Chizuya mentioned this, the room's lights flickered to life, as did the screens on the monitors, displaying the figure of a familiar woman. It was Mira. Mira, as it turned out, was the game master responsible for overseeing all the deadly games in this place. She appeared cheerful and congratulated Arisu, Usagi, Chizuya, and Kuina for completing the entire card-level game. Mira announced that they would begin a new game with the Jack, Queen, and King face card difficulty level the following day, asking the four of them to prepare themselves before joining. Although they faced the prospect of yet another life-threatening game, Arisu felt content as he now knew who he must defeat to avenge Chota and Karude's deaths. The next day, when Arisu, Usagi, Chizuya, and Kuina gathered at Shibuya Crossing, they noticed several hot air balloons carrying a giant banner featuring Jack, Queen, and King face cards. This indicated they would be embarking on a deadly game with a level of difficulty surpassing anything they had faced before. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification for more movie recaps.